How's it going, Yankee fans? Welcome back to Fireside Yankees with your boys, Alex and Ryan. Now, if you haven't heard just yet, Aaron Judge obviously on the injured list with the toe sprain, and things are not looking so good. He could be out for a couple of weeks, and the Yankees decided to elevate Billy McKinney, and we're going to talk about the decision. They have a couple other options, Franchy Cordero, who I would personally stay away from, and Estevan Florial, who is sitting there performing really, really well at the AAA level, and, maybe deserving of another opportunity. Instead, they go with McKinney. Want to break down kind of the idea behind that, the mentality behind that. But Ryan, before we dive into the good stuff, how you doing today, my friend?
I feel like anytime we have to discuss whether the Yankees should call up Franchy Cordero, Billy McKinney, or Estevan Florial, that means things are not going great in Yankee land. But that's a different, completely different topic from, whether who the Yankees should have called up in the first place. But, one of the big things I think you're looking at here is who's the hot hand, who's the guy who's got the skills that'll translate best to the major league level, offensively speaking. Now, Florial's the best athlete of that group, in my opinion. Florial's a pretty good athlete, and not Florial. Cordero's a pretty good athlete. Florial's an excellent athlete. But obviously the big issue with Florial is the strikeouts, right? And that's something that the Yankees, I think, are not going to look past. I think that the fact that he passed through waivers, 29 other teams had an opportunity to claim him for free. They didn't have to put him at the major league level. This isn't like the Rule 5 draft where you have to select a player and then immediately place them on the major league roster. And at any point, if you take them off, they get returned to their previous team. You can claim the guy and then put him in AAA, and no team wanted to do that, which I found interesting, right? It's interesting that he puts up big numbers, and the Yankees are incapable of finding a trade target. Someone claimed Miguel Andujar. The Pittsburgh Pirates did. Now they have then DFA'd him and then brought him back and then sent him down, and he's kind of been up and down with them. But the Pittsburgh Pirates have been above 500 this year, and they felt Miguel Andujar was a better player to have on their team than Estevan Florial, which I think is a little surprising to some, but that reflects on how the industry views him, right? And there is an argument to be made that teams do have misses, but when 30 teams and 30 evaluators and 30 organizations and 30 GMs with 30 different philosophies and mindsets and opinions all come to the same conclusion on a player, I think the writing's just on the wall for Florial here. I think it's going to take a lot of injuries for Florial to ever get a shot at the major league level again, which is unfortunate because, there was a point in time where he was the future of the Yankees in center field. There was a point in time where he was the organization's best prospect. And unfortunately, injuries and just the inability to make contact with the ball at an effective rate has zapped him of the ability to continue to get MLB reps. Now, Billy McKinney's interesting because he's also a former top prospect. He was a first-round pick back in 2013. Now, he is 28 years old. He's going to be 29 in a couple of months. You're not really expecting much from McKinney. Yes, he's put up pretty good AAA numbers, but, a 28-year-old in AAA is not the most encouraging thing. Could he Jake Bowers his way into the team, and kind of hit a couple big home runs? Maybe. But I feel like even what you're getting from Jake Bowers feels kind of like, okay, there's no way this holds up, or this shouldn't hold up on paper, because Jake Bowers, giving you a 120 WRC plus for the entire season, I mean, you would immediately not need to trade for a left fielder. I think we're both kind of more, I think pro Bowers is kind of like just, hey, he's good enough to be on the roster. But I don't think that means that either of us want the Yankees to avoid touching left field at the deadline. No matter how well he performs, I think they still want to touch that position and make some upgrades. But McKinney's played well in the month of May. Really, since the month of May has turned around, he has a 494 OBP, a 687 slugging percentage. His swing decisions have gotten better. And I think the Yankees are just trying to ride the hot hand. Realistically speaking, if they're truthful about Judge's injury, and just based on what the injury is, I don't see it being a long-term thing. If it's that 1.5 to 2 week time span that they're really looking at for here, McKinney shouldn't be here for very long, so it really shouldn't matter who they call up in the first place. You also have to think, if you're going to activate Florial and put him back on the roster, if you do choose to send him back down after Judge's here, you don't have minor league options. You must then DFA him again. And do the Yankees find Billy McKinney as better DFA fodder than Estevan Florial? I would think so, right? So, it's one of those situations where it's, managing your roster, number one. Number two, going with the hot hand. McKinney's been incredible since the month of May, so I think that's what they're going with here. And number three, Florial just not being a guy that the league really values very much. And that's weirdly enough with an organization that people largely credit as being an organization that doesn't care about strikeouts. Clearly, the Yankees care enough to not call up Florial. So, I guess the question I want to spin back at you here is, if you're the Yankees, and if you're Estevan Florial, like, what is that future looking like now? Because, I mean, we're down to Billy McKinney, Willie Calhoun, and Jake Bowers have all gotten the call over him, including Franchy Cordero as well. So, like, what's that future looking like in New York? Because they keep trying to go out of their way to not play him.
Yeah, I mean, for Florial, if I were him, I'd be a little confused right now. You know what I mean? Because you said Billy McKinney, he's doing really well, but like in the month of May, he was killing it. But, Florial's having a pretty good year in AAA, too. And the difference here is that Florial has, 63 games, 30 games and 63 plate appearances at the MLB level in his career. Billy McKinney has 263 games and 768 plate appearances, and he hit 206 with a 277 OBP. We kind of know what Billy McKinney is. We don't really know what Estevan Florial is. Now, Billy McKinney can play first base, and he can play both corner outfield spots, so he does have a little bit more utility value in terms of maybe giving Rizzo a couple days off here and there. Now, the lineup for today dropped for the first game of this doubleheader, and Ryan, it's going to make you cringe. I don't know if you've seen it already, but it is bad. It is one of the worst lineups I think I've seen in a long time. Willie Calhoun is leading off. Did not think I was ever going to see that in my lifetime. Gleyber Torres batting second, Rizzo in third, Stanton batting cleanup, Bowers fifth, LeMahieu 6, Cabrera 7, McKinney 8, Higashioka 9. I mean, I guess the middle of it's not bad. The Rizzo, Stanton, Bowers, LeMahieu, even Torres to LeMahieu isn't terrible, but a lot of those guys are struggling. LeMahieu's been struggling. Stanton, obviously, is just coming back from injury. Bowers is wildly inconsistent. Cabrera is essentially an automatic ground out or an automatic strikeout at this point. So right now, the Yankees are missing a couple of significant pieces to their batting order. It's quite obvious. And, you kind of referenced Billy McKinney. The lefty bat there may play a big kind of role in elevating him. I know Florial also has a lefty bat, and so far Florial is hitting 317 with a 420 OBP. He has 12 homers in 41 games, including 11 stolen bases and 30 RBIs. Now the 31% strikeout rate, that's probably what's concerning the Yankees the most. You kind of referenced that a little bit earlier. McKinney's only striking out at 20% and walking at almost 14%. They want to go with a guy with better plate discipline. That's kind of the obvious choice here. They don't want a guy that's going to strike out a ton. They want to get a guy that's going to, he has 9 homers in 40 games. He has a little bit of power to his bat. He's hit double-digit homers in his career, in the MLB, that is. So, there is some value there to be had. Now, he played 23 games last season. He hit .096 with a 158 OBP, so negative 10 WRC plus. He was abysmal for a bad Oakland team. Is he going to be good for the Yankees? Probably not. Maybe he has 1 or 2 decent games, but this is a supplementary move, right? Like, you can't replace Aaron Judge. You can supplement a portion of his production, maybe a tenth of his production you can get back from a player like this, but you lose an MVP, and you feel it, man. You feel the loss of Aaron Judge. When he's batting second in this lineup, like if you put the lineup, if you show me the lineup today and Judge is in second, Willie Calhoun is leading off, I'm like, doesn't look great, but at least we got Aaron Judge. It makes things look a lot brighter. It makes things look a lot better. Without him, it is a sad, sad day in Yankeeville, my friend. It is just tough to watch. And, they scored 2 runs against the White Sox and Giolito, who was phenomenal the other day. But we'll see how they do. We'll see how this offense performs. This seems like they have a kind of a weird blend of power and a lot of contact hitting, but the outfielders, man, the corner outfield, honestly, the entire outfield is garbage, right? Like, Bowers is okay. On a game-to-game basis, you don't know what version of him you're going to get. He's a little inconsistent that way. He has a great game and then a terrible game. Oswaldo's been basically obsolete offensively this season. Stanton can't even play defensively, and it's kind of tough. I know IKF is not playing today, trying to give some more guys some opportunities here, and Calhoun in right field is just like, ugh. I mean, it's okay. Calhoun's like having an okay season at best, maybe average, maybe kind of hovering around average. It's tough to watch. Hopefully, Severino can have a really, really good day for the Yankees. But guys, I'd love to hear your perspectives below on Billy McKinney. If you think that maybe they should have went for Estevan Florial or another player that you have in mind. It's tough without Aaron Judge. We know this. We'll keep you guys updated, obviously, on any injury news, and that strain is concerning. He could be out for a couple of weeks, but we got you guys covered as always, my friends. Make sure to like and subscribe. We'll catch you guys on the next Fireside Yankees episode.